Good morning, children. Sairam. How are you all? I hope you all are good and safe at home. Children, as we discussed before, accounting is concerned with identifying, recording, classifying, and summarizing of financial transaction and interpreting and communicating the result with its user. So, accounting aims at providing information about the financial performance of a firm to its various users such as owner, management, investor, creditors, etc., and help them in taking important decisions. Children, for making the accounting information meaningful to its user, it is very important that such information is reliable, relevant, comparable, and understandable. This becomes possible only when information provided by the financial statement is based on consistent accounting policies, principles, and practices. Such consistency is required throughout the process of accounting, which requires developing a proper theory base of accounting. So children, today we are going to start our new chapter, that is theory base of accounting. The theory base of accounting consists of fundamental accounting assumptions, principles, concepts and guidelines which have been developed over a period of time to bring uniformity and consistency to the process of accounting. Children, in this, first of all, we will cover accounting principle. GAAP, GAAP, Generally Accepted Accounting Principle. It refers to the rules or guidelines adopted for recording and reporting of business transaction in order to bring uniformity in the preparation and the presentation of financial statement. These principles are classified into two categories. The first is accounting concept and the second is accounting convention. Accounting concept refers to the necessary assumption and ideas which are fundamental to the accounting practice. These accounting assumption or concept must be followed as they provide basic foundation for the accounting process. Next is accounting convention. Accounting convention are the custom or tradition guiding the preparation of account. They are adopted to make financial statement clear and meaningful. Now children, we will start fundamental accounting assumption. The first fundamental accounting assumption is going concern assumption. According to this assumption, it is assumed that the business shall continue for a long time and there is no intention to close down the business. In this, business will continue and it will not close in between any year. So, going concern assumption is business shall continue for a long time. The next is consistency assumption. Consistency assumption means the accounting principle once selected and adopted should be applied consistently year after year. In this, if one accounting principle selected and adopted, so that method or that principle you have to apply it year after year. You cannot change the accounting principle. And the third assumption is accrual assumption. Accrual assumption, children, this is very important. According to this assumption, the transactions are recorded in the books of account when they have incurred, not when the settlement take place. For example, if a firm sold goods on 27th June 2020 for 2-month credit, okay, so the sale must be recorded on 27th June. Payment will be on August. Payment will be on August 2020, but sale on which date? 27th. So on this assumption, you have to record the transaction on the day which they have incurred, not the settlement take place, on the day which have incurred. So sold sale account you have to show on 27th June. In similar way, we can take the example, another example of expense. Suppose our financial year closed on 31st March 2020. Okay, now up to this date expenses we have 1 lakh. It means we have to pay the expenses 1 lakh. But up to 31st March you have paid or firm have paid only 70,000, and the rest 30,000 amount in next year. It means in next session, April session. So children, tell me, in the accounting year 1st April 2019 to 31st March 2020, in this accounting session you have to record the expenses amount 1 lakh or 70,000. Which amount you have to record? Tell me. 1 lakh or 70,000? 70,000 is that amount which is paid up to 31st March. Okay, and 1 lakh amount is that amount which is due up to 31st March. So out of the 1 lakh, 30,000 paid in the next session, but actual amount of up to 31st March is 1 lakh. So which amount you have to record in the books of account? Yes, you have to record complete 1 lakh. Okay, 1 lakh you have to record in the books of account. This is the accrual assumption. Do not see if any outstanding amount is remaining, no problem, but you have to see for up to that date total amount value. Up to that date you have to see total amount value. So up to that date, up to 31st March, up to the closing date, the total expenses you have to pay 1 lakh. Okay, so complete 1 lakh you have to show. So it means expenses are recorded in the period in which they have become due rather than in the period in which they are paid. Okay, so in short we can say that expenses or revenue you have to put when they have incurred, not when the settlement takes place. So this is accrual assumption. Now come to the accounting principle. Accounting principle, this is very important. These are also very important. All three assumptions you have to do practice. Okay, now the accounting principles. These are the principles. On the basis of these principles, the whole accounting process will have been followed. Okay, so we will start first accounting principle, that is business entity principle. So, according to this principle, business is considered to be separate and distinct entity from its owner. It means business or owner, both you have to be considered separate. For example, purchase refrigerator for personal use. So personal use means purchase refrigerator for personal use. Personal use means for household purpose, not for official purpose. So this transaction, if the owner has taken the amount from the business for purchasing the refrigerator, so that amount you have to take it separate. Business or owner both are separated, distinct from its owner. Okay, so you have to consider separate. It means this is the household transaction. And if purchase refrigerator for official use, then you have to take in the this transaction you have to take in the business. So all the personal transaction you have to keep the separate from the business. Okay, we will take one more example. House, car, personal income and expenditure of the proprietor must be kept separate from the business account. Okay, these all are for household purpose. So business entity principle means in this principle business is considered to be separate and distinct from its owner. Now come to the next. Second, money measurement principle. Money measurement principle means according to this principle only those transactions and events are recorded in the books of account which are measured in terms of money, which have value, which have in terms of money, like purchased furniture for rupees 40,000. It means you have you have purchased the furniture for rupees 40,000. So this is in the terms of money. So this type this you have to take in the accounting principle. Next is accounting period principle. Now first thing is, what do we mean by accounting period? Accounting period means, like for example, in your school your session started on 1st April and it ends on 31st March. Okay, so this is the financial year. And one more, 1st January to 31st December. This is the calendar year. So on which accounting period we are making the accounts. So that you have to see. This is also one principle. If you are taking from 1st April, so you have to close your accounts on 31st March. If you are taking 1st January, you have to close on account on 31st December. So accounting period principle says about the time period for which financial statement are to be prepared. Okay, it is based on the opening date. Next is cost concept or historical cost principle. According to this principle, an asset is recorded in the books of accounts at the purchase price, which includes cost of purchase, transportation charges and installation cost. For example, if you have purchased machinery, okay, machinery you have purchased for rupees 50,000. So this is the cost price, CP. This is the cost price. Okay. Now that machinery you have purchased for rupees 50,000 and 5,000 you have paid for freight or for transportation. Okay. So it will come to the farm. So 5,000 you have paid for transportation. Okay. And 5,000 you have paid for installation. For installation of machinery you have paid 5,000. So it means now the total cost of machinery is rupees 60,000. So in cost concept or historical cost concept, you have to take the machinery cost 60,000. Do not take 50,000. You have to take 60,000. Means you have to add all the expenses which is incurred in the machinery. Okay. In the same way, if you purchase any other thing, if you purchase furniture, then furniture if on the furniture installation, not installation, transportation charges is there, you have to add, and you have to find out the actual cost of the machinery or furniture. Next is full disclosure principle. Fifth principle is full disclosure principle. In this, all the financial transaction you have to mention clearly. Nothing should be hidden. Okay. So no more cheating. All things you have to show clearly. So according to this principle, all information regarding to the financial transaction should be mentioned clearly in the books of account and nothing should be hidden. Okay. Next is matching principle. According to this principle, expenses incurred in an accounting period should be matched with revenue earned during that period. Thus, expenses and revenue must belong to same accounting period. In matching principle, expenses and revenue both are from of same accounting period. For example, we can say that when an item of revenue is included in the profit and loss account, then all the expenses incurred, whether paid or not, should be shown as expenses in the profit and loss account. It means if there is any outstanding, then it will be shown in the profit and loss account. Okay. In similar way, if an expense is paid during an accounting period, but revenue related to it will be earned in the following period, then such expense will be shown as an expense only next year, not this year. For example, prepaid insurance. Prepaid insurance means insurance paid in advance. So, prepaid expense you have to show in the balance sheet. Okay. So, in short, we can say matching principle means expenses incurred for accounting period should be matched with revenue earned during that period. Now, next is conservative or prudence principle. According to this principle, all losses will be taken into consideration but not the prospective profit. An accountant has to be maintained separate reserve for future unseen losses. We can take example. Now, first thing is, what do we mean by future unseen losses? We will take the example. For example, bad debt. Bad debt. Bad debt What do we mean by bad debt? Bad debt means the amount which we will not recover, we will not receive. That amount is known as bad debt. So, according to this principle, all the losses you have to take in the consideration, not the profit, only losses, because for these type of losses, for these type of unseen losses, you have to prepare one separate account that is known as provision. So if any bad debt is there, so you have to make one provision for that kind of bad debt. Okay. Now next is dual aspect. According to this principle, every business transaction has two aspects, debit and credit. So in dual aspect means you have to see that both sides should be equal. If you are making any account, the debit side is equal to credit side or credit side is equal to debit side. This is known as double entry system also, or in balance sheet also, because of this principle only, dual aspect principle. In balance sheet also, both sides are equal, asset sides and liability side, both sides are equal. Okay. So these are the 8 accounting principle and 3 accounting assumption. Now children, do learn, do prepare this chapter. Okay, I will provide you notes of this chapter. You can note down in your fair notebook, theory base of accounting. Children, the video and notes I am giving you in part, but in notebook you have to write down in continuing form. Okay, do not write down the notes in parts. If the chapter number 2, theory base of accounting, I have made 2 parts, so notes of theory base of accounting you have to write down in the continuation form. Do not write in part. Okay, so this is the first part. I will give you the notes. Okay children, do prepare. Thank you. Saira.